Good afternoon. Yeah. I'm John Levy, and it's my distinct privilege and honor to serve as the 10th chairman of the board of the Legal Services Corporation. We're so grateful to the White House for giving us this opportunity once again to call attention to the crisis that exists in access to our justice system for low-income Americans. I especially want to thank President Obama for his strong support of LSC and for appointing our wonderful LSC board. And although this is the final such forum of his administration, our board is confirmed through mid-2017. So I'm going to be optimistic and say that we plan to be back here next year. I want to thank the members of Congress and all of you who've taken time out of your busy schedules to join us here today, and at similar forums we've convened at our quarterly meetings across the country. I want to profoundly thank our entire board here today. And as I call your name, please stand. Martha Minow, Robert Gray, Charles Keckler, Harry Carell, Victor Maddox, Lori Mikva, Father Pius, Julie Reskin, Gloria Valencia Weber. I'd like them to be acknowledged for their This board has a tremendous commitment to the work of LSC, and they're always so cheerfully willing to take on so many more things than they probably ever imagined would be on their plates when they accepted their appointments. And one of the first and best things this board did was to ask Jim Sandman to lead it. And he has been an exceptional president. Jim, where are you? Stand, please. Now, when our board came into office 6 years ago, we recognized that while the legal aid community was doing a great job of talking to itself, their message of concern was not resonating far beyond. We needed to do a better job of opening the doors and windows, and we must continue to do so to educate the greater legal community and the public at large about the crisis and what I believe it means for the future of our democracy. Unfortunately, the public may believe that if it's about our justice system, it must be the province only of the lawyers. Actually, many lawyers may think this way too. But the idea of equal access to justice is a core American value, and the crisis and accessibility of our justice system for low-income Americans should be everyone's concern. Last year, more than 61 million Americans qualified for civil legal aid during the entire year. Another 30 million qualified because they lived for 2 months or more at or below 125% of the federal poverty guideline. Nearly 30% of our population. But LSC funding from our Congress constitutes a near all-time low in inflation-adjusted dollars. In actual dollars, $385 million, which is still below the $400 million actually appropriated in the mid-90s, less than half of what in today's dollars would be the $880 million appropriated just 2 years after LSC's founding in the 70s, when then only 12% of the population qualified for LSC-funded assistance. Our board has used its convening powers to try to raise public awareness of the crisis. We've enlisted support from the organized bar, state Supreme Court Chief Justices, and the growing number of access to justice commissions. We have impaneled 2 ad hoc committees, Fiscal Oversight Task Force, which helped LSC revamp its management and accountability systems, and the Pro Bono Task Force, which has already led to many initiatives, including the Pro Bono Innovation Fund, now in its 2nd year, making important grants, some of which you'll hear about today across the country. Our Technology Initiative grants, our Tech Summit report continue to lead the way as we try to get some form of effective assistance to 100% of those who need it. And today we announce the creation of a new initiative, the Leaders Council of LSC, comprised of leaders in the fields of law, business, academia, even the sporting world, other disciplines. Many of them are with us today. The Leaders Council will help raise awareness of LSC and its important work across the country. And we are thrilled that former White House counsel and Texas bar leader Harriet Miers and Ken Frazier, chairman and CEO of Merck, have agreed to co-chair the council. Ken is here. Would you please stand and do it? And in just a month, we will launch our Rural Summer Legal Corps with 32 law students working at 28 LSC grantees in rural America. We are delighted that funding for this program from many law firms is already sufficient to ensure the program will continue for at least 5 years. And we have obtained foundation and other private support for important research, data collection, toolkits, and a very significant one that will be announced later today. I think maybe it's even leaked. Other initiatives, too numerous to name in the time we have today. But this kind of outreach is crucial if we are to increase funding for legal aid to narrow the justice gap and keep our justice system working smoothly. Well, no one expects a car to function well without changing the oil, rotating the tires, performing routine maintenance. For some reason, we expect our justice system to operate smoothly without performing an even more basic function, putting enough gas in the tank. We're not yet running on fumes, but the refill light on the dashboard has been on red for far too long. And our grantees across the country who are trying to assist and serve low-income Americans are being forced to turn away so many of them with no assistance at all. For these people, the tank is already empty. We know in this room that such a model is not sustainable, and we must more adequately support civil legal aid if we are to remain true to the ideal of the right to equal access to justice, a right Vice President Biden said in this very room 3 years ago is, quote, the single right that makes every other right viable. Thank you very much.